This is grade 5, module 4, lesson 13, and the objective is to multiply unit fractions by unit fractions. So we're going to start out with example 1, letter E and F, and we have E, which is 1/3 times 1/3, and you can also write that or read that as 1/3 of 1/3. So the directions say to draw a rectangular fraction model to show your thinking. So the way to do this one is I'm going to draw just my little rectangle, and I'm going to section that into thirds. And I'm going to represent this one right here with the green. So this is the 1/3 that I'm referring to here. Now I'm going to divide or section the same rectangle into thirds, this horizontally as opposed to vertically, and I'm going to now shade in 1/3 here. Okay, so the area where the two overlap is this section right here, this little corner right here, and that piece is actually one out of, now we have a total of 9 units in there, so we have 1 out of 9. So 1/3 times 1/3 is equal to 1/9. So let's take a look at letter F, and I'm going to draw my rectangle. I'm going to section out my fourths. Now we have 1/4 times 1/3, and for my 1/4, I'm going to shade in 1/4 here. And I have my thirds, so I'm going to be partitioning it right here into thirds, and change the color, and I'm going to be shading it, and I can do this bottom part here, shading in 1/3. And the part that overlaps is what our answer would be. So it's right here, and that is 1, and you can count them all up, but you can see it was a multiplication as well. It's equal to 1/12. So this is a nice visual for them to multiply the fractions, especially the unit fractions. It's a nice visual for the students to practice with. Now we're going to move on to question number 4, and it says Diego eats 1/5 of a loaf of bread each day. On Tuesday, Diego eats 1/4 of the day's portion before lunch. What fraction of the whole loaf does Diego eat before lunch on Tuesday? Draw a rectangular fraction model to support your thinking. So let's start with our target sentence, and that reads, Diego eats blank of the whole loaf. And we have a 1/5 of the loaf each day, and on Tuesday he eats 1/4. So our problem is actually 1/5 times 1/4. And remember, it did say draw a rectangular fraction model, so we're going to go ahead and start with that. So we're going to draw a rectangle the best that we can, and I'm going to partition the fifths, and imagining these are all as even as can be, and the fifths here I'm going to shade in green. And then we're going to partition the fourths, so horizontally. And I'm going to shade that in red. Okay. And remember, the product is where it overlaps, so where it has the red and green. So I have 1 out of 20. So the fraction would be 1/20. Diego eats 1/20 of the whole loaf.